guys, welcome to Boudoir and Beyond. Today's episode, I have one of my special friends here. This is Olivia. She's actually a boudoir photographer in New England. And we're going to put her handle so that you guys can follow her. But I wanted to bring her on to my podcast this weekend because she's actually here visiting with me. I'm hosting her and showing her Dallas. So we're going to have some fun topics to talk about today. The first one that we're going to cover is worst date experiences. And I wanted to talk about this with you because
I have so many.
We're both single and in the dating scene, and we have seen some pretty scary things. Yeah. And so I did do the anonymous box a couple of weeks ago with you guys so that you could give me kind of like your feedback and stuff that has happened to you in your past experiences. But before we get into what everybody else's is, I want you to tell me what yours is. Just pick one of the worst that you have been on.
Okay.
You don't have to name names.
Oh, no. I honestly don't think I remember anything. But I can think of the most recent one that I went on was, and I briefly talked about it on my TikTok like a little bit, but I had this guy, and I didn't vet him. To be fair, like I didn't vet him correctly enough, but I just wanted to go out, and he was cute. He was cute, and he wanted to take me out for drinks. So I was like, all right, fine. Like he seems nice enough, and so I got all dressed up. He picked me up. Now, mind you, like we're like the same age. Like I'm in my late 20s. He was in his late 20s. So when a boy picks you up, a boy in his late 20s knows to like when he comes out to like open the car door for you, to like introduce himself, say hi. None of that.
He just waited in his car?
None of that. Just rolls up to the house and just sits in his car. And I was like, I
texted you, I'm here.
No, just said here.
Not even I'm.
There was
what
no
are you, an
I'm.
Uber?
It was like, and again, I was like ignoring things because I was like, I just want to go out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a single mom, so I don't get to go out like a ton or as much as like I used to before I had a child. So I was like, I just didn't have plans. I was like, I was just ignoring things that I should not have been ignoring. And he did, like, I get in the car, he did the awkward like side hug thing, and I was like, okay, hi, nice to meet you. And we get to the bar, everything's fine, buys me a drink, which that's important later. Okay. Buys me a drink.
But did he ask you what you wanted first, or he just—
Oh, no. He just, which I don't drink beer.
Did his own,
just like buys me a beer, and I was like, okay. And we're drinking, and then literally like 2 seconds after we have our drinks, starts touching my leg, starts putting his hand on like my arms and my back. And I'm like, I'm from New England. I'm from Massachusetts. Like, I'm not nice. So like literally like he's doing it. I'm like I'm like moving his arm, moving himself. Like, I don't care. Like, you're not touching me. I don't know you.
Yeah.
And then he starts trying to like, because there's live music at this bar.
Okay.
So he's trying to like hold my hand while we're watching like this. And I'm like,
you have been dating for a while.
Yeah.
And, it's like,
and I'm
okay.
just like, what? I'm like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
And like, then it just got to the point where I think he had been drinking earlier too. And so where I'm like, we only had one drink at the bar. I think he had, this was probably like his like sixth drink of the night. And he literally was just like, started doing that thing that I feel like insecure people typically tend to do when they're like, am I like what you thought I was going to be? Like, is it like, what made you swipe on me? And I like, what made you, what he wants to hear why he's special.
Right.
And I'm just like,
an ego boost.
Yeah. And I was just like, you seem nice. Like, you seem like a nice person. You seem nice now because it's been 20 minutes.
Right.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
He gets so mad about this, like, response because he wanted me to like go on and on about someone I don't know. I was like, you're cute and you seem sweet. Like, that's all I got. And he literally was just like, oh, so you'll just go out with anybody? And I was like,
whoa,
wait, didn't you want me? What?
From 0 to 100.
It was just like, what? And I was like, okay. And it was just getting with the touching and the attitude.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I don't know this guy well enough. Like, I can just like leave. So, but
call an Uber.
He drove me there.
Right.
So, which again, like, is kind of one of those things like on a first date, like kind of a toss up. But so I'm like, oh my God, like I don't have a way to get home. And so I'm calling my friends outside the bar, like, is anyone around who can pick me up? And no one was like available to come get me.
That's the worst.
I was like, I'm buying an Uber. I'm getting an Uber. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I go back into the bar and I was outside for like 2 minutes, like not a long time. He is so mad, like visibly mad at me for like going outside.
Yeah.
And he's just like ignoring me. He's being like blatantly rude. And so I was just like, okay. And so I just wait until my Uber's like 2 minutes away. And I was like, all right, well, my Uber's here. So like I have to get going. He was so angry. He was like, I'm taking you home. And I was like, no, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. Like, my Uber's here. He's like, you're on my way home. Why wouldn't I take you home? Like, he thought because he bought
red
me
flag.
one drink that like we were going home together and like something was happening. And I was like, all right, well, you can walk me out if you'd like, but like I'm heading out. He's like huffing, he's puffing. He's like, I was like, this is why I wasn't getting back into your car.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy, this like behavior. And he like tried to like get me to cancel it. He like got really like in my face. It was like, and he's like, he was like a police officer. He's like a big dude. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, luckily we're outside and we're at a bar and like there's people there.
Right.
But I was just like, this is like,
you're like, if I have to make a scene, I will.
oh yeah. Like, I'm not going to like protect your ego at all.
Yeah.
And the funniest part was he's like really mad and I'm getting into the Uber and like when the door shuts, I look up at him and I unmatched him and I blocked him right in front of him.
Oh my God, I love
and
that.
And just like and then
just took off.
Drove off. It was so funny. But that is also why you don't have people pick you up at your address.
Yes,
it was my neighbor's address, so farther down the street. So just in case that ever happens.
Smart. Yeah, not at your own house.
I don't have people. Also, just because I have a baby, like I don't want people knowing where like my child lives. Like I even advertise for like my studio in like a different city, because I don't want like in New England, but I don't want people to know like exactly where I live.
Right.
Just for like my son's privacy and safety and stuff
safety,
like that.
yeah.
So
absolutely.
I do the same thing with dates.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Like
you're so funny because, well, I don't live here, like in Dallas. I live in a suburb of Dallas.
Yeah.
So I drive myself everywhere. I don't Uber because one, it's really expensive, like for them to come and get me and then like bring me all the way here. And then I normally don't have guys come and pick me up because I just don't want them to know where I live. I'm like, if this doesn't work, like I just don't want you to know. Like,
I know.
It freaks me out.
Yeah. So it was really funny by like sometimes when I do date guys, like we're on like the 4th or 5th date, they'll be like, oh, I'll drop you off. Or like, can I like walk you to the door? I'm like, sure, but it's not the door you even dropped me off at. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, this is not my house.
Yeah.
This is my house. Come on down. Like, take a look. So that's really funny.
Yeah. Oh man. And it's so funny, like nowadays, like how dating it's changed so much since, even like 10 years ago. And I mean, I can say 10 years ago because I'm 30. I'll be 31 this year. And
I was a junior in high school. 10
right.
years ago.
So like dating back
dating
then
was like,
and like
who's outside of math class?
I honestly think the pandemic ruined dating.
Yeah. It made it so much harder.
Yeah.
Like,
because of having to just be quarantined and then like you get to know somebody like super quickly. And when you're quarantined or whatever, because like you can't do much.
Yeah.
I met somebody during quarantine and I dated them and I got to know them like really, really quickly. And I mean, obviously it didn't work out because I'm single.
But like, did it because you like ran through everything like so fast, like all the topics, getting to know each other? Like, so do you think it like fizzed out faster? Like, is that what you think happened?
No, I think we moved too fast.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'm not going to get into details.
No, no, that happens like literally like right after or like somewhat.
I feel like there should have been more courting, I guess, or like more date. But you couldn't really go on dates because of the mandate and all that crap. So it was just kind of like we spent a lot of time together like in his apartment or like at the pool or whatever because it was like during the summer. And so I was just like, this is like, I feel like we know a lot about each other like in a short amount of time. And then it was just like, it was bad after that. But anyways, I
was pregnant during like most of the pandemic.
Okay.
But then once like after I gave birth in July. So we were still like kind of ish in the pandemic. Things were still like under lockdown and stuff like that. At least it wasn't in Massachusetts. And so like I started dating someone like really quickly after I like delivered.
Yeah.
But we were still like in the pandemic. And it was kind of like that. It was just like, whose house are we going to?
Right.
Because there was just like nothing.
You couldn't
like,
go
want to go on a walk? Like, it really did change dating. But I would agree. We got to know each other like really quickly.
Apps became so popular then. Like, I feel like before the pandemic, I don't know because I wasn't really on dating apps before the pandemic.
I was a little bit, but no.
I feel like it changed everything.
Dating apps is kind of where you have to be. Like, because of the pandemic, because like everyone's working from home, like all that. So dating apps are just like, I feel like almost not a necessity, but I just feel like it's less and less likely you're going to hear that someone's like meeting their husband or their wife or their partner like at a bar.
Right.
Or like through mutual friends. Like all my friends now are married.
Right.
And like have kids. I have one single friend that lives like in Tampa. So like, everyone else is like buying houses, having babies, like doing this thing. And I'm just like, I did everything like almost in like reverse.
Yeah.
I like got pregnant and then became single. And then I'm just like bought my house and now I'm just like, okay,
now
like,
what? Yeah.
Where's the person?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Same thing. I kind of have mentioned my worst dating experience, I think, in a couple of past podcasts. But basically, I'm going to give you one story that I haven't. This is a different person. That was another bad dating experience. But it was a guy that I like matched with on Bumble, and he was a single dad, which already like I don't like to use that as like a red flag because I'm a single mom. Yeah. So like I feel like it's not fair. Like I kind of give you the benefit of the doubt, but
you're like, why are you a single dad?
Yeah,
kind of like, why are you a single parent?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like definitely like.
Well, I feel like we get judged like that all the time too.
Oh, yeah.
But like I don't know. Anyways, so basically, I was just like, okay, well, if you're gonna be a blended family, like whatever. Yeah. And I'm not sitting here saying that like I was thinking like I'm gonna marry this guy.
No. But you have to like, especially when you have children, you have to think like 5 steps ahead of someone who doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's just like how it is. Probably also the same if you're dating while you're older.
Right.
Like you just have to, you're not 22 by yourself anymore. Yeah. You've got to think of other things that are like happening.
Yeah.
So that like makes sense. Like if I date someone and I see that they have like lots of dogs, if I see like where they live, if I see that they have kids, it's like, how is this going to work? Because if we already know it's not going to, why waste each other's time?
And that's more like women's intuition too, I feel like.
Oh, men don't do that.
No,
like, I
not
know
at
very
all.
few men who do that. Like they're like, she's pretty.
Yeah.
she laughed at my joke.
Right. So anyways, this guy, we matched on Bumble or whatever, and we went to a place that I've been to before. It was just like a lunch date because I prefer lunch dates over going to dinner. Like
really?
Because I feel like dinner is so much pressure.
Oh, I love dinner dates.
Really?
I don't make people take me on dinner dates.
You're so funny. I'm like, I am very, don't waste my time. I have other things to do. I'm like, that's terrible. That's probably why I'm single. But like, okay, like I'm not saying that I don't like getting ready like and going out like at night or whatever and like to have dinner, obviously.
But you don't
like,
want to do it with someone you might not like.
Yeah. If I already have like reservations, I'm like, let's go for lunch or like let's do coffee. Because I feel like it takes the pressure off of like both of us. Yeah, and I also, there's just been so many instances where I have done a dinner date that the guy was like trying to like come home with me afterwards or like whatever. And I'm like, dude, no. Like,
I feel like that happens for me specifically. That happens more if we meet for drinks.
Okay, yeah.
And then when we get dinner, like, and again, this
is
a little
bit more
my
formal.
Experience. Yeah, I think like it's just like, because again, the guy who I just said, we just got drinks. Like, when I like say like, oh yeah, you have to take me to dinner and you have to do these things, then for me, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. But that's interesting that it's like the opposite for somebody else.
Yeah.
I can see that. But I can see that. They're like, wait, no, I put all this money in. Like, so I can totally see the flip side of it. But continue.
No. So anyways, we went to this restaurant that I've already been to before, and he starts talking about how he used to like manage restaurants and like whatever, like telling me like what he does. And then he starts like bad talking the restaurant that we're at and like their management and all this stuff. And I was like, okay.
I don't like that.
Yeah. That's kind of to me like the people that get upset with the waiters and like, but like really upset. Yeah. And you're just like, yo, like relax. Yeah. So it started with that. Then he didn't tell me that he had a cold. He was sick. Yeah. He had a cold, like snotty, this? Like we went for lunch. Like it's in the middle of the day. Like it was
because you know what? Yeah, I think in his head he's like, if I tell her I'm sick, but she
won't show up, or like
yeah. Like either she won't show up, or she'll be like, oh, he wanted to see me so badly because he like was sick but powered through to see me. Yeah, that is not what we're thinking.
No,
especially again, women with children. Don't go sick. We will hate you.
Yeah. Ew. So he was like constantly like blowing his nose and then telling me that he had a cold, and I was like, why didn't you like we could have waited until you weren't sick anymore. And he was like, well, I didn't think that you would want to go out with me. Like, yeah, it was that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, well. And so anyways, the lunch was short. I mean, like, because
it was quick.
It was because we were just, he was like asking me like what I do for a living. And obviously like back then still I was a boudoir photographer. So
Yeah.
I'm like trying to explain to him what it is, and like, because not everybody,
A lot
understands.
of, yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff around boudoir. But anyway, so I'm like explaining it to him, and he immediately goes, "Oh, I would never let my wife do that." And I look at him and I'm like, then how did you think this was gonna work?
Did he know what you did before?
Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, I don't really know where to go from here, because like you're telling me that you would never like, and we're
also
trying to
ew.
It was just
Ew.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, why? Because I'm such a I will debate you. Like, I need to know. I'm gonna pick your brain. And so I was like, why? And he was like, because I can just take it on my phone myself. Like, why would I have my wife go to somebody else? I'm like, because they're the professional and they know what they're doing. I'm like, now you're offending me, because like this is what I do for a living. Like, are you kidding
Guys,
me?
we've officially lost our jobs. Brad has an iPhone.
Yeah. It was so, I was just like, okay, dude, like you're clearly not getting it. And if you're telling me that you wouldn't let your wife like do a boudoir shoot, then immediately no, like I'm done. Like it's not going anywhere past. So after it was just like so awkward, because I was just like, okay, I don't even want to listen to anything else you have to say.
No, because like, what are you supposed to say? It's like you're basically like shaming your line of work.
Yeah.
While on a date.
Yeah.
And then being like, so when's date number 2? It's
Yeah.
like, no,
literally,
there's
no.
not going to be.
He really asked. I was
He
like,
asked?
yes.
Shut up. Oh.
He did. And then he walked me to my car and he tried to kiss me. I was like, I was like, you're sick. Are you serious? Like, I could see the snot in his nose. I was like, this is not happening ever again.
Oh my God. So what happens to me
I blocked
typically,
him after that,
thank
obviously.
God. What happened to me, because I haven't been dating as much like now that I'm single this time around.
Yeah.
But when I was single 2 summers ago, basically like I would, talk about being a boudoir photographer, and I was going on like a lot more dates. I was like heartbroken and devastated about my like breakup at the time. So I was just like, I'm gonna like just go on a bunch of dates and I'm like never gonna think of him again. So I was just going on like date after date. First and second dates, like nothing crazy was happening. But anytime I brought up a boudoir photographer, they didn't do that, but they would like sexualize it immediately.
Oh yeah.
They'd be like, oh, so you're a freak. And I was like, what? Like, and I was just like again, at a dinner date, like, and there's like, oh, so you're like wicked freaky. And I was like, wow, not necessarily. Like, and then they would ask like, oh, do you like take like the lingerie and like bring it to like a guy's house? And I was like, well, no, it's my client closet. And they're like, oh, well, what's your favorite like, like the whips and the paddles and stuff like that and the handcuffs? And he's just like, a couple of them were just like, oh, so like, what's your favorite to use? I was like, they're for my client closet. I don't use them. Like, I don't use them. These aren't things like I don't go up into my studio and then bring the stuff down from like a boy. Mm-hmm. And even if I did do that, why would we be talking about this on a first date?
Yeah.
Like it was, so that's happened like, that happened more a couple years ago when I was single. That hasn't happened, but I've gone on less dates like this time around being single. But a couple years ago, that happened all the time. And I was just like, what? I remember I told one guy, because this was before I was like, I'm in my ghosting era. I'm just like, I think I am so pro ghosting.
You're pro ghost, yeah.
I'm so pro ghost. For everybody, ghost me. You don't have to send me a text about how you don't want to see me again. Silence is an answer.
Yeah,
like, I'll understand. But back then I was like very much like sending like the text, like, I think you're lovely, which like for the most part everyone was until they made it weird. Yeah. I just don't want you to like wonder why I'm not going to text you back, because I'm not. And one of the guys who was like weird about it responded, and he's like, oh, I definitely got a friend vibe like too, but I definitely got a strong sexual vibe. And I was like, not mutual. Like the feeling, it wasn't going both ways. And
like, are you trying to be friends with benefits?
Like, and I was just like, the reason I'm sending this text is because you tried to make everything sexual.
Yeah.
And like I was not reciprocating it like at all. And then we've talked about this before. Yeah. I'll have boys on dates be like, do you get like excited? Like,
turned on when we're shooting. No.
And they're like, even when you have men in it, no. Like, you are an alien when you walk into my studio. Yeah. Like, you're not, like, no matter how gorgeous or handsome.
It's just a body.
You're just a person.
I'm like, that sounds like a murder mystery podcast. But like, to us, it's not, it's art. Like,
yeah,
exactly. It's a body. Yeah. We're not sexualizing you. I know it's kind of hard to like differentiate the two because
Yeah.
boudoir can be very sexy, but like,
But it's sexy. It's making you feel sexy.
yes,
Not making me get turned on.
Right.
Like, it's very much for like making you feel the most beautiful and confident that you can feel, either for yourself, for your partner, like whatever the situation is while you're booking boudoir. But no, I don't feel any type of sizzle when I have a client in my studio. I get asked that all the time on dates, or again, I used to, not so much anymore, but I was just like, that is like banana land to me that someone would think that. But I've got that question a bunch of times on dates too.
I don't think I've gotten that one. I do get a lot of, so you shoot porn. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, no. And
if that's what you think it is, then this is not going to work. Like, I can sit here and explain to you, but you're obviously like, you have a...
I like used to do that. I used to like try and explain it. And it was the same thing like when I had like an OnlyFans. Like people are like, oh, you do porn now. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I just, and it was all in my bio, just like I'm doing posing tutorials, because sometimes when you do certain posing tutorials on TikTok or Instagram,
they get flagged.
You get taken down. Get banned. So I was like, oh, I'll make an OnlyFans. Maybe I should have made a Patreon, because that doesn't have the same like connotations.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I made an OnlyFans. I told everyone what it was on my Instagram. Like, this is posing tutorials. This is telling you how to like take your own like cute little selfies.
Yeah.
I gave like caption ideas, or I would take like a selfie of like myself and be like, hey girls, this is your sign to like send your like person like this photo of you on a bed. Like, so it was like, it was a little spicier than Instagram, but like still within the realm of what I was like posting on my normal social media platforms. And everyone thought I was doing like, so I deleted it because I was just like, I'm not, subscribe. Yeah. It's $7.99.
Yeah.
You can see what I'm doing.
And we're both so like pro, like if you want to do OnlyFans, we're not here to judge you. Like make your money. Like
absolutely.
It's just, for us as photographers, it comes off another way.
Yeah, completely different way.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, literally, like, people were just like, what are you doing? And it just, like, became, like, not worth it to me. So I was just like, all right, like, this was a fun, cute little moment, but never mind. But yeah, I have a lot of clients. Majority of my clients are obviously brides, like, because I've told you, like, bridal is, like, what I do. But I've had, like, quite a few, like, OnlyFans girls come. They're like, will you do this? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I don't, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I did have, like, I went on a couple dates recently, and someone basically said I would never date a girl who did OnlyFans. Yeah. And I was just like,
I've seen that
I was lot. Like, oh, well, I used to have one. Like, I don't anymore, but I used to. And they were like, what? And I was just like, and I explained like what it was. Yeah. And they were like, oh, okay, I guess I'm fine with that. I was like, I don't need you to be fine with it. Yeah. Like, I don't care if you're fine with it.
I wasn't looking for approval.
Yeah. I was like, it was honestly like very demanding and like a lot of work. So I just couldn't keep up with it on top of running 2 different businesses. Right. And then the baby, I was just like, okay, I just can't do this. But like guys will be like, they think like I shoot porn. I used to explain it. I used to like be like, no, this is boudoir. This is what I do. It's implied. And now I'm just like, okay. I'm like, okay, sure. Like, whatever you think. Like, I don't have time to like explain it to someone now.
I saved time with like I told you, I had ended up putting my photography Instagram on my apps.
I did that. I copied you. I did that last night.
Okay, because I was like, it's so much easier for you to like just go and see, and like instead of me sitting here and explain. And so because of that, the messages that I was getting, it was like, you're so talented. I like, your art. That. I like how you see people. And I've gotten a lot of like, you should get in front of the camera more. Yeah, whatever. And I'm like, I'm fine like filming funny reels and like, whatever, but I'm not going to go and like be a model. That's just not, it's not in my...
I think she should, for the record. I think she should be a model.
I'm not, like, I'll get in front of the camera for like you and like my friends and stuff, but like other people that ask me, I'm like, nah, I'm good. It's just, I don't really care for it. And I know that other people make a living out of it, and that's great.
Yeah.
I'm like, pretty privileged, use it. Like, why not? But yeah, to me, it's just whatever. But it does save time to like have that conversation, because then they already like, so you can kind of like weed out the people that are like, oh, she shoots porn. Or
yeah. No, I literally just did that when you said that last night, because my personal account was on my Hinge profile, and you said you did the opposite.
Yeah, I did my photography one.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I like that better, because both my photography accounts are listed on my personal account. Yeah. But then when you were just like, just like my professional account, they can see what I do. I was like, oh, that's a better idea. So I copied you.
It's always a good like icebreaker too, because then they like talk to you about it, and then if they have like an issue with it, because some people don't want you to shoot porn.
And that's like another thing. Like, I don't like people sometimes, like, boys will think like they have to dance around it. I'm like, if I'm not your preference, that's fine. Yeah, if you don't want, there's literally nothing wrong with wanting a traditional like setup between your relationship, but you shouldn't be with me.
Yeah.
And like that's just, it's not going to happen, because I do post pictures of myself in lingerie on the internet. So if you don't like that, then see ya.
To me, it's always been like, if you're confident in yourself and our relationship, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, who am I going home to? Not the people on the internet.
Yeah. No, I tried to explain that to the last person I was with. I was just like, he would just get like very upset. And I'm just like, then you think I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Like if
then you're not, there's trust issues there or like, something.
I'm telling you who I'm shooting, where I'm going, how long I'm going to be there. I'm texting you out. Like there's not much more I can do unless you want to set up like a camera in my studio, which I can't do.
Right.
So I just, if there's like a problem, like maybe this isn't going to work, because if you don't trust me to just be able to like be in a studio with, and it's mostly women.
Yeah.
But there would be like occasional times where I would be like with male models, or there would be a couple or something like that. And they just couldn't handle it. They really just couldn't handle it. And it was just like, all right, like, I don't know what we're doing here then.
Yeah.
I've modeled like a couple times, and he would tell me all the time, model. Like, just like, you should model. Like, all these guys like are saying, like,
let hot girls be hot.
Yeah, exactly. And then
my photographer friend said, I was like, that's a good one.
But then when the hot girls being hot, now we have
issue.
A problem.
Yeah.
So I like had, while we were in Nashville, I like set up like a shoot with one of like my photographer friends.
Yeah.
Just like my Instagram photographer friends. I didn't really know him like super well. And but he's in Nashville. And so we shot together. He's amazing. He was so professional, lovely. And my person at the time was like freaking out. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Do you trust
here?
me?
Like, yeah.
But
like,
I think it always goes back to, it goes back to communication, first of all.
Yeah.
If you don't have good communication with your partner, like, it's not gonna.
We didn't.
Yeah. So
that was probably part of it.
Yeah.
But he was always nervous that I would be like doing something. And I was like,
and I have a hard,
look at my phone. Literally. I'd be like,
open book.
Who messaged you? I'd be like, look. And then he would be like, oh, I don't want to look at your phone. It's like,
okay.
Then why are you asking? Like, look through my phone. I don't care.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating. But
I did want to read some of the
other people's.
Yeah.
Is that how the anonymous box works?
Yeah.
I've never used it before.
Oh, you haven't?
So I didn't know.
Like, this is what it looks like. Like, it literally, I don't know who it's coming from.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I do have a few that we can read, and we can just kind of like react to them. But this one says, there's this, the anonymous box is for anybody, a guy or a girl. Like, it doesn't,
do you think did you read over them?
Yeah.
Were there any guys?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like,
okay.
So this one.
I'm so my God.
It says, a girl left me in the middle of a date for her ex, who we ran into at a bar. Her ex was a girl. I'm like, wait, plot twist. So many plot twists.
So, so they're on a date.
Yes.
She ran into her ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
And
at the bar that they were at on a date, and she left him for her ex.
What do you even do?
That's so awkward.
I feel like
I'm like, did she Irish goodbye him, or did he like see it happen?
I want more details.
Yeah. That's the thing. He didn't go into detail, so I don't know.
I think that's more funny than like mortifyingly awful or horrible. I think that's kind of just like a funny story. Just I was on a date.
Obviously, he knew that was her ex-girlfriend. So I'm like, did she say like, hey, that's my ex?
She must
and then
have.
Leave?
I think probably what happened.
I'm like trying to put this story together because there was no like, that was it. But I'm like, dang, that's your worst date experience. That sucks.
But I feel like if that's the worst date you've ever been on, it's probably been fine.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that was my worst dating experience.
Yeah, because then you could have just met somebody else at the bar and been like, oh yeah, my date like left me.
Because that's funny. Like, that's
just
funny.
Have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one says, when I was 18, I went on a date with my new boyfriend to the Cheesecake Factory at the mall. We shopped beforehand, and he told me he didn't have money on his card, so I bought him shoes. And then we went to dinner, and I paid for it. I am way too nice. We didn't stay together long after that.
She paid for his shoes. That is the most 18-year-old girl
Cheesecake
thing.
Factory. Yeah.
Do not give men money. If you are a young woman watching this, if a
The
man
guy should always pay for the date.
it's not even yes, absolutely. But
Unless
like,
you've been dating for like a long time and you guys
yeah,
split
yeah.
it, or you're like, it's fine, like I got it this time.
Oh yeah,
but not on the first date. Absolutely not.
No. No, in my last relationship, I thought it was fun to like when we'd go out to dinner be like, oh no. Like every once in a while, like, oh no, let me pay. Like let me take us out. Like that's nice. But no, never but even paying for his shoes.
Yeah.
Why don't do that?
I mean, she was 18, so.
She's 18, but exactly. I don't know if there's young girls watching this. Never give them money.
Okay, this one's a really long one, and it's actually kind of funny. She said, I made a TikTok for my bad dates, but I'm pretty sure that the one that topped it was a man I met through Tinder. We spoke for a few days and had dinner plans for Saturday. He calls before he comes to pick me up. He lived very close, and I lived in a huge apartment building with over 200 units, to tell me that he doesn't use chopsticks. We were going to a sushi place. It was weird, but that's fine. So we get there, and he's so awkward for a long time, and eventually he tells me his life story, where he spent 6 of his adult years in prison. From 19 to 25 years old, and he was only 29. He has 2 kids and was recently divorced. I very nicely tried to let him down the next day, and he said that I was judging a book by its cover, but if I ever wanted some good dick, to hit him up.
Oh my.
Like, why did you get mad that? Like, why would you offer? Come on.
If you can't see what a good man I am, then you might as well just sleep with me.
Terrible.
That is... Okay, so he had just gotten divorced, had 2 kids, and was in prison for
6 years.
6 years. I thought it was 4. Okay, 6 years. But he had been out for 4.
Yes.
That's not very long to be out of prison.
I mean, and I get, like, you want to be open and vulnerable with the person that you're, like, on a date with, but maybe, like, don't divulge that on the first date. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe he did want to get it out there in the open and, like, hey, by the way, like.
I don't know. Like, first date, definitely say you've been married and have kids.
Yes.
I think that's so weird. Have you ever heard, like, people give you advice, like, to not tell people you have children?
No.
People have told me that. They're like, wait a couple dates to tell them you have kids. I'm like, that's weird. If I went on a date with someone and they waited 3 dates to tell me that they had children, I'd be like, how did you even go on 2 dates and not talk about your children?
Yeah.
Like, how did you not talk about, like, that's all I talk about, which again is probably why I'm single. But like,
it's okay. You're a proud mom.
I know. I just talk about my son like half the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you want to see this video of him like saying his numbers in Spanish? He just learned. And they're like, yeah.
They're like, not calling
you. Yeah, like people have said that, like maybe wait to tell them you're a mom. I'm like, that is so weird.
No.
But the prison thing, I think doesn't need to be said on the first date. Yeah. Maybe the second or the third. Right? I don't know. Maybe you think the opposite.
I would like to know up front.
Okay, I guess it depends what they did.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends what they did.
Because, like, if you get put in jail for weed.
Oh, then I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I literally don't care.
I'm like, but you murdered somebody?
Yeah, like if you hurt somebody or, like, robbed something, then maybe I care. Then maybe I want to know.
Maybe.
But, like, if it's a silly
We're
thing.
not condoning dating, inmates. Anyways. Moving on. This one says, one and only dating app date, I got catfished. He looked nothing like his photos and his teeth were terrible. I am a stickler for, if you have bad teeth, I'm like.
I don't mind. Crooked teeth don't bother me.
Nope.
But I probably like would be hypocritical if I said that because I have like one crooked tooth. So, but
I mean, my bottom teeth aren't like super straight, but like at least, I'm saying
really
like you have to have good like hygiene.
Yeah.
Because if you don't like.
No, getting catfish is the worst. Men know how to catfish today.
Hatfish also. I'm like, don't be freaking thirst trapping me with all your hat pictures and then you take it off and you're freaking bald. Like, I'm sorry.
I will say,
just be upfront with it. There are men that look good without hair.
I
own it.
Dated. Like went on a handful of dates with this guy. Like 5 months ago, we just went on like a handful of dates. He saw that his hair was like, leaving, and he shaved it. Oh, he looked amazing. And I was like, why don't more guys do this?
Yeah, just own it.
Because he was nervous to shave his head, but he's bald, and I think it looks so sexy.
Yeah.
Like when you see like a bald man, like, and it works, like just shave your head. Just if you're losing your hair and you don't want to like
just grow a beard.
Do all this. Yes, shave your head and grow a beard. Like that will save you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think guys are scared to do that, but I think it looks like really handsome when a guy like is bald.
Well, it's also
with, like,
a lot
facial
harder
hair.
for men to like go and get plugs and like extensions, like,
But
and
why?
all that.
Because if a girl was going bald, that's the first thing I would do. Like,
Yeah.
I
mean, we dye our hair when we start getting gray hairs.
Yeah, I think I don't.
So that's why I'm like, there shouldn't be like a weird stigma about it. Like, if you want to go get what is it, like plugs or whatever? Like,
I think that's what it's called. Yeah,
I'm like, do it. If you have the money, do it. Like, girls freaking go get BBLs and like all kinds of stuff.
If a guy told me that, like, I think I would be way more susceptible to a guy being like, oh yeah, like I got hair plugs and like now it looks good. Or you don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
But like if I like knew, I'd be like, oh cool, like you had an insecurity and like you fixed it. But then it's like if you have an insecurity, you talk about it all the time and then
it becomes your personality and
then
it's
you
like
don't do anything about it. It's
That
like
too.
I can't help you. Like so.
But yeah, bad teeth is a no for me. I can't do it. Because if your mouth is coming towards mine all the time and like your breath stinks and like
and
like your teeth are dirty and like I stay the night and I brush my teeth and I don't see you brush yours, I'm like,
oh, that would be a problem. Yeah.
Gross.
That would be gross. Yeah.
What else is gross?
Yeah,
I don't want to know.
Yeah. That's actually very fair now that you say that. But it is funny that she said he catfished because now I feel like I've been seeing with like on TikTok and like my TikTok friends and stuff like that. They talk about dating and they'll be like, he catfished me. It's like girls are not the catfishers anymore. We're not. Like it's the boys. The boys are. I saw. Oh, you think girls still? Oh, I'm sure like people still like. But I feel like I feel like guys are better at getting away with it now. Whereas if someone just puts a filter on their face, like it's a filter. Yeah. Like we know now.
Yeah.
Like we're all on Instagram. We all know what the filters are. So I feel like if a girl has a filter on her face, it's just more obvious. Whereas like a boy probably wouldn't put a filter on his face because that's more of like a girly thing.
Have you come across that though on the apps?
I have
the guys that use the filter.
But like the filter that makes you like have a cat eye and like bigger lips, that's clearly like
a girl filter,
glam makeup for like girls, and it's just like this like dude in a truck.
Or the Snapchat ones that are like super old with the freaking dog face. Like, come on, dude.
Oh, that would be bad. I couldn't do that. Yeah, no, that would be bad. I just feel like girls, when they catfish, it's more the filter. And then when guys catfish, it's more like posing lighting hats, which makes me think like they're putting more effort into catfishing because a girl is just like, yeah, it's a filter. They know it's a filter. Like you have to know it's a filter.
Yeah.
You are
I was sort of catfished. I went on a date with a guy who lied about his height. And I've talked about this in the podcast before. He was short. He was a short king, but not even a short king. Like I'm talking like shorter than what a short king is. And I'm short. Yeah. So if I'm saying you're short.
Was he your height?
Not that much taller than me.
Really?
And I'm short.
You cannot lie to me about
your height. And he was like trying to say he was like 5'10". I was like, no, you're not. And I was in heels and pretty much the same height as this guy.
And he was saying he was 5'10"? Yes. You're 5'1".
On his, I know.
He was like 5'4", 5'5".
Yeah. Had to be like 5'5", if anything.
Okay. Yeah, you can't lie to me about your height because I am 5'7". Yeah. So like I'm going to know.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna know regardless.
We're gonna know regardless. But
he came to pick me up, and I was like, I literally opened the door, and I was like, I wanted to just close the door, but I'm not mean, so I didn't. But and I still went on the date, and now I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get backlash for it for like still going. I was nice. Like I liked him. It just I was like, I don't like being put into the stereotype of, oh, girls only want guys like 6 foot and up because I just said I'm 5'1". Like I'm short. I'm okay with a guy that's 5'7".
It's more like just be honest.
Yeah, yes.
Because like
that was the problem that he lied about it.
You lied about it because I went on a date because like again because I'm 5'7" and I wear like all my sneakers are like platforms and I always wear like heels and when I wear heels like I wear heels like one of like the last people like I dated was like 6 or 6'1", and when we'd go to weddings, I was almost his height because like the heels I would wear. Like I love being tall, and I don't care if someone's shorter than me.
Yeah,
but you have to be okay with me being taller than you.
Yes.
So I went on a couple dates with this boy who was like 5'9". So when I wear my sneakers, we're the same height. And he didn't bring it up once, and he literally didn't care. And like, I didn't even like think about it because it never came up. So it's not that I like only date tall guys. Shorter guys typically only talk about being short. Right. Or they're like, oh, you're wearing those heels. Oh, you're wearing those shoes. I'm like, yeah, these are the only shoes I own. Like, I want to be tall. So then that makes me not want to date them.
Well, my thing is like, I got made fun of for my height all my life. Like,
really?
Yes. Until I got to like, not even high school. Like, I was maybe like in my sophomore year is when the bullying, I say bullying, but
yeah.
People that would just like tease me and stuff about being short. And I'm like, I can't do anything about it. Yeah. Like, what do you want me to do? I can't grow anymore. So like, it is what it is.
I never got made fun of my height. I got made fun of like my ears a lot. Like I have really like,
you don't have to do
like I have really big ears. So like,
I don't think they're big.
Everyone called me Dumbo.
No.
I got called Dumbo all the time. And people would be like, he's one of my like best friends now. But we were really good friends in high school and be like, oh, I bet Liv heard the sunset today. Or the sun or the sun setting or the sun rising. Like Liv can hear anything. Like there'd be people like whispering like in the cafeteria. They'd be like, Liv, what are they saying? Like, cup them. And I wanted them pinned back for so long. Yeah. But now my son, he has my ears. Like he has the like cutest, biggest like elephant ears, and they're mine. And like, so now anytime anyone's like, sees a picture of us, they'll be like, oh, he has your ears. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't pin them back.
Yeah.
So
that's so cute.
Yeah, I got made fun of for my ears mostly and for being ugly. That's what I got made fun of in school for.
Sheesh. Yeah. I used to get called 3'2". What was another one? And what's funny is like, obviously all the guys that would like tease me about it or whatever, like they are the kind that like peaked in high school and are now like in my DMs, and I'm like,
isn't that so funny?
Ew.
Like this, but
side eye.
Did it happen? Like, well, you had a baby like a little bit younger.
Yeah, I had her at 19.
Yeah, so
I was 2 weeks away from turning 19.
Oh wow, okay. So
because she was born early, so it was like a whole thing. Anyways, yeah, I was really young.
Yeah, I was like young-ish. I wasn't that young. I was like 24 or 25.
I feel like that's pretty average.
And the second I like had a baby, like all the boys from my high school were like, I entertained all of them, to be fair. Like literally, like I felt so gross. It was COVID. I couldn't go out. Someone would message me and be like, hey, what's up? Like I would literally be like, how are you? How are you doing? I miss you so much. Like I did not go on a single date with any of them, but I flirted with all of them because I was like, oh, look at all this attention I'm getting. But literally like these boys knew me for 18 years. We all grew up together. We like all went to school together. Never heard a peep from them. And then I got pregnant and I had a baby and they were like, how is everything going?
All of a sudden you're interested.
And I was just like,
boy, bye.
What?
Okay, this one's funny. It says, I matched with this girl on Tinder. I was calling her by her Tinder name the entire night. After the date, which lasted about 4 hours, she finally told me I was calling her the wrong name the entire time.
But she had a fake
I think she had a fake name, yeah. I'm like, but didn't you introduce yourself? Like, I don't understand. 4 hours, that's a long time, like, to not interrupt somebody and be like, hey, that's not my name.
Yeah, if someone was calling me.
Immediately, like, I correct people, because I feel like my name, a lot of people try to say that my name is Adriana.
I thought your name was Adriana.
Yeah.
For a really long time.
I don't know why. I'm like, there's no D. Like, where did you see that?
Alyssa had to correct me because I said it like a couple times. I'm like, oh, Adriana's here. She's like, I don't know who Adriana is, but Ariana's here. And I was like,
thank you, Alyssa.
Yeah. But that's so funny.
Yeah.
If
somebody says my name wrong, like I'll correct you. And the thing is like when I introduce myself, I say Ariana. I don't really usually say Ariana. And so people will be like, oh, like Ariana Grande. I'm like, no, because I'm my own person. I'm like, but I do like her music. Yes, thank you.
That's so funny. Yeah.
That's embarrassing though.
Yeah, that's like, but almost for who? Because why is she putting a fake name on her Tinder?
I had a guy that I matched with on Hinge. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I matched with him. Anyways, he had a different name on there.
Why?
And then told me that it was because he had gotten catfished in the past. And so he doesn't use his real name until like he really gets to know the person and then tells them like, oh, this is my real name.
Huh. Okay.
I was like, that's interesting.
It's interesting. I guess I shouldn't say it's weird.
I think it's more like you don't want to be searched up.
Yeah.
To like.
Yeah, I guess that's like odd.
What are you hiding?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
But he did tell me the catfish story. I could say it on here. Like,
is it a good one?
I mean, basically what happened was that he showed up. They had like I think it was during the pandemic. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But they had a yogurt date or something. And he went to pick her up. And he said that the pictures didn't look anything like her. Like the girl had posted old pictures of herself and she had gained a ton of weight. And like apparently he showed up and she was like in pajamas. And he was like,
oh, the pajamas would throw me off more than like someone gaining weight.
And then he literally looked at her and was like, and like literally turned around and like walked off. And she was like, really? And he was like, yeah, you don't look anything like your pictures.
Oh, he left.
Yeah.
And here's like the thing with that. And we could all have a conversation about how like shallow social media is, and you're literally just doing it based on someone's looks. But like that's what we're signing up for. And
that's your first impression. Like when you see somebody's profile, it's like, what do you look like?
What do you look like? What do you do for work? What's your name? Apparently people are lying about that too. But it's like, what's your religion? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like we know, and we can just like, is it silly to maybe make your dating life based on those things? But that's what dating apps are, and that's what we're all signed up for. So it's like I feel so bad for like either it's men or women who feel like they have to like lie to get like attention, but then you're just gonna waste your own time. You're gonna be wasting other people's time. So I feel like bad for people who feel like they have to catfish to like get attention. But then at the same time, it's like, if I'm the one, especially like, again, like just like a single mom's dating, we don't have, and business owners and like all this stuff, like we don't have a lot of free time. Right. So for us to go on a date, to get excited, to get ready, even if it's a yogurt date, and then the person has like deceived you in some way, that's
a slap in the face.
Yeah, that's like frustrating, and that's like a waste of time. And I would be upset. They drove away. That's bold. I kind of like respect it like a little bit. But just if you're just yourself and you just put yourself out there, the right person is going to find you. Yeah.
Okay, this person said the person wouldn't stop talking about their ex.
On a first date?
I've been on a date where, and again, we're single moms, so like it's different.
Yeah, it's different because people will ask, what is the situation with your son's dad?
Yes, and like how do you co-parent, whatever, and that's valid. You can ask that.
But that is the only ex that I talk about. Yeah, for even like the dates I've been going on. I think any other ex has been brought up maybe once or twice because like a story came up and they were a part of it. Yeah, I don't talk about like any of them other than my son's dad, and it's usually like, oh, there's no drama, we co-parent, we're friendly, whatever. Yeah, he picked him up today. Like now I don't have my child. Like that is the only capacity in which I will talk about an ex-boyfriend. Yeah, because you're on a first date.
Well, I mean, they didn't say it was a first date. It was just the worst date experience.
I'm assuming that's a first date.
I would assume it is. Yeah, the person wouldn't stop talking about their ex.
Wait, so you went on a date with someone who talked about their ex?
Did I?
Oh, I thought that's what you were. I thought that's what you were just about to say, and then I feel like I cut you off.
I might have. I'm pretty sure I have. Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was a single dad, and so like we were talking about our and like had been divorced and like whatever. So like that was kind of like I'm not here to, what's the word, trauma bond. But like,
funny. But like, dude.
But like, to an extent, like you connected on that level. Yeah, you can relate to it. Yeah. But I don't want to talk about the entire time. Like, let's talk about something else. Like, how many siblings do you have? And like, what's your favorite food? And
I will say I went on, and I talked about this on my TikTok. It was one of my actually like really good dates that I went on with that boy I met up with at a diner in New York. And we did talk about like our exes and stuff like that, but in a very funny, light, very
that's
kind
so
way.
Different versus being like sitting there and like,
he wasn't bitching or saying anything mean about anyone that he dated. I was saying like all the funny, like cute stuff. Because we like kind of thought it would be funny if we just got like everything out on the table. Okay. So we were just talking about like everything.
That's a fun date.
It was really, that was like a great date. And he's really sweet, but we thought that was funny. Yeah. So like there was that one date, and then again, anything else has been like talking about the dynamic with my son's dad. Right. Because people are just like, is there drama? Do you guys still like each other?
Yeah,
like,
that's for sure a deal breaker for people.
So that is the only reason you should be talking about your ex-partner on a first date. Don't do it.
This is another good one. I went out to dinner with a guy at a really nice restaurant where I had previously worked and still knew people.
Oh, you're dumb.
Like, why would you go there?
Don't do that.
He was mad because he could tell I was distant and not really feeling the date. He started acting super childish and poured pepper in my water just to piss me off. It was the first and last date. I'm like, why?
Why would you do that? That's just weird.
That is childish.
But like also,
why did you go there?
why did you do that?
Did she pick it or did he? It doesn't say, so I don't know.
I think it would be, I shouldn't say dumb, sillier if she picked it.
Mhm.
Maybe if it was like he picked it and she was like, oh, I used to work there. Yeah, let's go. That I can see happening. But if she was like, let's go meet my coworkers.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I don't work here anymore, but I know these people.
Yeah.
And then it's like awkward because then they're all staring at you.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't even like, oh, well, she said she was distant.
Yeah.
Because if he was telling it and he thought she was distant, I'd be like, oh, well, her friends are there and she's
Yeah.
like looking at the place. But I can see that. Poured pepper in her water. I'm so glad you didn't go back out with him.
Just to piss me off. She said, I'm like, so you watched him do it and then you still drank it, or he did it
Maybe
without
he
you
did
knowing?
it like,
and you
no, he
took a
probably
drink?
did it like that.
Yeah, like in her
To be
face,
like-
like just like spiteful.
Because if she's not paying attention to him, immature boys, not all boys, but they will do like little things to like
Mhm.
piss you off just to get a reaction.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if she didn't react, he probably would have been even like more annoyed.
Yeah. I could see him like grabbing it and like throwing it in her face.
Throwing
I could
pepper?
No, like the water.
Oh,
Which, I mean, what's worse?
I think if someone threw pepper at me, I think I'd be even more jolted than if someone threw water at me.
Okay, this is another one. We met at the park and he proceeded to tell me about how he got
Oh no.
arrested for domestic violence after his ex-girlfriend who was pregnant fell down the stairs and then miscarried the baby.
Oh.
So his mom called the cops on him. Really a blessing because I dodged a bullet there.
One, prayers for her. I know that she didn't put that in there, but oh my God. Why would you say that? But see, you know what? People who do stuff like that tell on themselves.
Yeah.
They just tell on
You're
themselves.
like, cool. Okay, see you
So-
later.
So he did it. Because someone who didn't do that
Yeah.
would never bring it up. And like if their ex was crazy and did stuff like that, you'd
Mhm.
never say anything. So
No.
he 100%
Yeah.
did something because you would just never say it.
That was the last one that I had, but I thought that those were pretty funny.
I can't even imagine being on a date and someone just, where were they? Did they say
At a park.
At a park. Oh, little picnic, little like, here's a little blankie. By
the
the way.
way.
That's insane.
Yeah. Oh, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you purposely not go on dates with guys who have the same name as an ex or resemble them?
So name, I just went on a date. So yeah, I will avoid it because I just for the first time went on a date with a boy who was the same name as my high school ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
But his name is Mike. Shout out Mike. Me and Mike are really good friends. So yeah, like I would kind of avoid dating Mikes and Michaels because when I say Michael,
You think of him.
I think of my friend or
Yeah.
my ex-boyfriend. Like I'm just like, and usually if I say Michael, I'd be like, Michael. Like I'd be saying it in like an annoying way.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I would. So okay, it's been 10 years since 10 or like 9 or 8 years since I've dated Mike, and I just recently went out with a Mike.
Another Mike, yeah.
So
I
yeah.
don't avoid it. I probably should.
I would never date anyone with the same name as like a family member.
That's weird.
That would be weird. I guess I can't say that I like avoid dating people who look the same because I
Okay.
just have like a very,
You have a type.
I have a very
Everybody
like,
has a type.
yeah, like so I have a type. So and I don't look at someone who looks like someone else and think of
them.
somebody else because
Yeah.
that if that was the case, then I would be dating all over the map.
Right.
But yeah, I have a specific type, so I definitely date relatively within that type. Like I love brown eyes, brown
Mhm.
hair, like
Oh, I'm like,
Tans-
you like me then.
yeah. I think you're gorgeous. So I like that vibe.
Mhm.
But names I will
Avoid.
avoid. Yeah. Like I would never date someone who like had my son's dad's name. Even if he was like perfect.
Oh, no.
Never. I couldn't. Like and he
Mm-mm.
could be like
That's
literally
definitely a no for me.
yeah, if he was perfect
I'd still be like, you're changing your name.
You're changing your name.
We're going to call you by your middle name.
Yeah, or we're giving you a nickname, and then everyone else has to call you that because...
Even your family.
Yeah. Your mother is going to call you something else. Yeah, I just couldn't date someone. I think names is
a trigger.
Names is a trigger. Yeah, like I couldn't date someone. But like, yeah, like if you're a cute Italian boy, like you have my attention.
You're so funny. I was watching Formula One this morning. Okay, so I want to talk about the nails versus haircut theory. And I did...
You might have to explain that to me.
Yeah, so I did ask about it in the anonymous box as well. So basically, I had asked in my stories the other day what the equivalent was of when girls ask guys like to pick a color for their nails. Like when they go to the nail salon and they are talking to a guy... I'm like, and if guys don't know this, like, I'm going to rat us out a little bit here. But I'm going to be like, if a guy doesn't text you and ask you, like, hey, what color should I pick?
Oh, if a girl doesn't ask you that, they don't like you?
They don't like you.
But yeah, it is nice when you're, like, texting someone and you're just like, hey, what do you think? Like, pick a color. Unless you pick an ugly color. Then it's like, you give suggestions.
I'm like, no, these are the 3 that I, like, pick out of these 3.
Yeah.
So, like, type A like that.
So the theory is that you'll ask a boy because you want them involved because you like them.
Yes, and that so I asked what it was for guys. I was like, what do guys ask girls if they're interested in them?
Did men
answer?
Yes,
they did answer.
Okay.
And because one of my friends said that it was their haircuts. Like after they go get a haircut and they send you a selfie.
Oh, yeah. Boys do that.
Yeah. So, okay. I was like, I thought my phone
was
frozen.
That is cute.
One of the ones that a guy said was the gym selfie. So, like, they'll take a picture before they go to the gym or, like, after the pump. I'm like, is that equivalent to...
For me, that would be an ick.
Really?
If a man took a selfie,
pump pic.
Oh. We are so different. We like such different
I'm like,
men.
please, the arm veins.
I can't even, I don't even think I would know which. But I feel like you like.
I do.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm like, that's my type.
I don't like that. Like, I definitely like in shape. Like, I think that's cute. But yeah, no. If
I'm into gym.
You're into gym guys, so that makes sense. But if a man sent me a gym selfie,
you'd be like, ew.
That would be the end of that. I'd be like, because you know what? I can't keep up with that.
Okay.
I don't gym.
I get that.
You work out.
Yes.
Like that. Yes. So it's so
yeah,
far.
So that's why I find it attractive. I'm like, if I'm keeping up with my body, like you better be on the same level, if not better.
Yeah. People will always like look at me and they're like, oh, you're a runner and stuff like that. I'm like, no. Like I'm not. Like I just signed up for a Pilates class like recently. Like I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
But like I don't live a healthy lifestyle at all. So anytime like someone's like being fit and being healthy and working out, that's my life. I'm just like,
you're like, that's great.
I don't think we're going to work out.
Asking about their beard length, a hat or no hat, and then sneakers and brows. I'm like, I've never had a man ask me about their brows.
I have never had
eyebrows.
A man ask me that.
I have gotten outfit of the day.
I have gotten hat or no hat. Like I have definitely gotten that.
An outfit of the day. Like, should I wear this or this?
Yes, I like an outfit of the day pick. I think that's really cute. I actually love when guys do that.
Especially if we're going on a date and like you're trying to pick what to wear.
Something I will do if I like someone is I will like, so I guess my version of the nail theory is like I will pick out their outfit.
Oh.
I love doing that. Even if I'm like not even
like when you're with like you're in there in person like with them and you're picking an outfit. Okay.
Like, if like
at his house or something.
Yeah, I'll be like, what are you wearing? And then if they tell me and it's heinous, I'll be like, do you want me to stop by? Do you want me to
like, what about this?
Yeah, maybe we can like look through your closet.
Oh my God,
like,
you're so
funny. I like doing that.
I definitely judge guys like with how they're dressed on the first date.
Yeah, even if it's not.
And I've talked about this before. We did an ick one. We did an ick
podcast.
Yeah, and mine was Crocs. I'm like, you better do not show up in Crocs.
Oh, on a date? You never show up on Crocs on a date.
But no, in general. I'm not a Crocs person. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I think it's gross. Why do you have holes in your shoes?
I like Crocs. I think Crocs are cute. But like I would never go on a date.
Yeah.
Like I would never do. Crocs are like my house shoes. Like I think it's like, you're like, okay.
I'm a little judging you.
But you know like the cloud shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Crocs instead of cloud shoes. Okay. But I wouldn't go on a date or go out and be about in Crocs. No. I wouldn't do that. No. Mm-mm. Yeah. So if a boy showed up on a date in Crocs, no, that would be a no. But I I can appreciate someone's style even if it's not my own.
Yeah.
And if they look nice, that's great. But
Yeah.
I will, like, if someone's just a hot mess, like, then it's just that's a different thing. I can appreciate someone else's look if it's not like in line with mine. But if you just look crazy, then
that's an issue.
That's an issue. That would be an ick. Yeah, that would be an ick.
So what do you think about the nail and the haircut theory? Like, do you think it?
Yes, when a boy like sends you a picture of his haircut, like to be like,
well, we just want to know in general. Like, girls just want to be involved.
Yeah,
and
girls
like,
just want to be involved.
It makes you seem like you actually care about my opinion. So of course I want you to send me a selfie or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cute. Like, I like that. I actually like that a lot. So, because then that indicates to me that you like me.
Yeah.
You care. And you want to see if I care. So I actually think that's really cute. I like that a lot.
Well, this was a really fun episode because we did get to talk a little bit about all the things that I had written down. So it makes me happy.
Yay!
Anyways, we're going to go to brunch.
Which I'm really excited because I've never been to brunch before.
Yeah.
I've never done
If you have
brunch.
never been to Dallas, one of the places that I love is St. Anne. It's a indoor-outdoor restaurant, but their brunch is like really, really good.
I'm so excited.
We're going to log off. So thank you guys so much for watching another podcast of Boudoir and Beyond. And I'm going to put Olivia's little handle for you guys so you can follow her as well. If you're in the New England area and you want to hire her, she's really talented. So
Thank you.